Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin.
December 20th. In the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the first to surrender was not Kiev. It was the people in the White House. The Russians believed Winter and Trump would finish the job. They were wrong. This Christmas, Ukraine stands and defends, even as others pressure it to kneel, even as surrender is dressed up as peace, even as appeasement is sold as strategy. This week, Ukraine showed the world what true defiance looks like. Far from home, far from shore, far beyond what was thought to be impossible. A shadow fleet was hit, a submarine was sunk, and Putin stood on stage, lying, while admitting the truth. Russia is not stopping, not because it is strong, not because it does not value life, not theirs, not yours, and not ours. Russia wages war not only on Ukraine, but on the West, through sabotage, through energy, through lies, through fear. They tried to leave Ukraine in the dark, but it is in the dark that light shines brightest. This Christmas, Ukraine is that light, not because it is perfect, but because it refuses to surrender. This week is less about hope and more about reach. Truth versus fantasy, action versus denial, and justice versus delay. Welcome to Ukraine Update. Today, we're breaking down how Ukraine has expanded this war beyond expectations, why Putin's reality is collapsing, and whether Europe has the will, beyond theory and speeches, to stop Russian aggression, when it actually costs something and requires action. Welcome to Ukraine Update, our Christmas episode. I'm Slavi. Let's say hello to our panel today. James, you're back with us. How's it going?
Hello. Everything's great here in the east of Ukraine. I am James. I am a soldier with the Azov International Battalion, and I'm actually head of the FPV fiber optic drone laboratory. And I'm here to provide my opinions, not those of Azov or anything like that, but also if I can ask your help in this Christmas season to support my unit and my battalion in our fight for Ukraine's freedom and really for the world's freedom and democracy. You can go to that website, whyukraine.com, and you'll see a big link to support the Azov International Battalion, and also some links you can use to buy equipment specifically for my laboratory. So I really appreciate that, and I'm really glad to be here.
Great. Well, glad you're here with us.
Mm.
We also have Johnny with us from Young Ukrainians channel. Johnny, how's it going? Oh no, can't hear him.
Did we lose your audio? There we go.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, no, we can't.
Okay, good. Well, it appears that Russia's only hope for victory right now is if America will make Ukraine to surrender. Ukraine is doing beautifully on the battlefield. Let's hope that Europe will stay strong and sees the Ukrainian victories through.
Absolutely. And next up, we have with us a spy, our host, the spy, Dick.
How's it
Is
going,
that good-looking
everybody?
young man?
Yeah, I'm having camera issues. I don't know what's going on, so I'm a picture today. That's what we're dealing with.
Are you sure you just didn't have a bad haircut? Is that what happened?
I honestly don't remember the last time I had a haircut, so I don't think that's the problem.
More like a bad hair day.
Yeah.
Did you pluck your eyebrows or something?
Yeah, that happens often. I do that a lot.
It might be an improvement. Think about it.
No, I'm letting them grow into the point where you can't see me anymore. I'm just going to be that eyebrow guy.
That's me. I'm slowly turning into Gandalf. So,
but yes, so we'll struggle through as best we can here. I am dressed, so don't even think that way. And on with the show, shall we be?
Damn it. Now we are thinking that way. That's the problem.
No, the thing is, yeah, you started it, Dick. That's all we can think about. Like, don't think about the pink elephant,
Well, before we get into the news, if you guys care about truth, if you care about accountability, if you care about justice this Christmas, you're in the right place. Please like, subscribe if you're new here, share on all the channels we're streaming on, and let's get into the news. Thank you for being here, guys.
Indeed.
All right. Well, first up, Ukraine strikes Russian Shadow Fleet tanker in the Mediterranean for the first time. This comes and even as U.S. leadership under Trump pushes for quick deals that could cede Ukrainian territory to appease Moscow, Russia's Shadow Fleet strikes reveal ongoing hostility with Ukraine, forced to defend itself by crippling sanctions oil, tankers, and funding the war. So, on December 19th, Ukrainian drones targeted the Oman-flagged Quendil, carrying Russian oil to bypass sanctions, the Shadow Fleet. The attack caused an explosion, structural damage, and halted operations without spills or casualties, marking Ukraine's first strike beyond the Black Sea at over 2,000 kilometers range. This is incredible. And frankly, it's the only sanctions that are working. Ukrainian sanctions.
True sanctions.
Yeah. It's very, very, very impressive stuff. See, I've switched to my alter ego. I'm a Lego dude now. I'm going to play with this in the background while
the resemblance is striking.
Oh yeah. That was actually that was the day I dressed up for my wedding. Now you know why it didn't last very long.
Yeah, it's really shocking that Ukraine is able to do this. My opinion on it is, can I get some of that tech for my battalion?
Yeah.
Okay. Like that's the thing, man. I mean, it's great. What I want to see is this technology evenly distributed throughout the Ukrainian army, and it's not there yet. As amazing as this accomplishment is, you have all these little. I mean, I'm just speaking from a soldier's perspective, from an engineer's perspective. Like, you have all these different groups who are doing independent research, independent development, independent manufacturing, and like, if we can like combine those into some sort of super Voltron, I mean, Ukraine's going to be unstoppable, you know?
Right.
Okay. Do you have any insight on maybe how Ukraine did it? I know we're probably not gonna know for until the war is over how Ukraine did it, but just
Yeah, no, it's
insights.
I've been really okay. So we've got the tanker strike, okay? So the tanker strike was done by um relatively small drones, and they were bomber drones, okay? So what that means is there was a boat somewhere nearby, could have been a very small boat, probably like a sea baby, okay, that these drones could have been launched from. It's that simple. That's all.
Yeah.
And it could be from even as a few kilometers away, you know. And then from there they could have been probably there was a link from the sea baby to the drone that's like just a regular radio frequency link, and then probably the sea baby has a Starlink, and that's all known. That's how they've been doing all these strikes in the Black Sea as well. So yeah, that's
Oh,
the show pretty much.
interesting. Also,
Mhm.
the EU complemented with sanctions as well on the strike on 41 vessels and 9 entities on December 18th. Focusing on the enablers that are transporting this military gear and stolen Ukrainian grain as well, amplifying pressure on Moscow's invasion tactics. Um, but I feel like EU could do a lot more on these sanctions. Really, I feel comfortable blaming them why this war is keep going, because it's like they're letting this shadow fleet make all the money for Russian war machine.
Yep. Well, I mean, if they won't take the right steps, then Ukraine will.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and we can see some results because the price of oil for Russia, at the price that Russia is selling it right now, has went down to $37
Yeah.
and Russia needs it to be at 46 to break even.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're forced into these crazy deals that they have to provide for their potential customers. Yeah, it's not easy because like even if you're trying not to buy Russian oil, Russia will go and sell it to you at a loss to still keep you as a customer. So some people will still buy it, but you know it's still good to see that Ukraine is doing these amazing things. And another thing that people don't realize: all of these ships have to be insured, and insurance has tripled for Russia recently. And people don't think that it's a lot of money, but it's up to 0.7, 0.8% of the whole ship's value per month. So it's a huge amount of money. It used to be 0.2%, 0.3%. During the war, it was still a lot. Now it's 0.7, 0.8% that Russia and the ships, they have to pay, even if they're not Russian.
Yeah.
So Russia is taking a lot of loss because of what Ukraine is doing right now.
And any financial hit to Russia is good, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, next up was actually my most favorite news from the week, because Ukraine sunk another submarine
Yeah.
in Novorossiysk with an underwater drone. This is very cool.
We
So-
should do a song for them. We all work in a sinking submarine. Sinking submarine.
Oh man, now I'm gonna have the song stuck in my head. I'll be singing it all day.
Yeah.
It's very catchy. But yeah, the SBU deployed the Sea Baby, carrying around 850 kilograms explosive with 1,000-kilometer range, targeted the submarine, potentially equipped with caliber missiles, damage confirmed by Ukrainian intel, and forcing the dry dock repairs amid Russia's denial on the by the way, Russia is denying it completely, that the submarine is fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but we can see on the images that it's, well, why is it docked? Ever
Yeah.
since it happened. So yeah, another huge hit. And another thing, it's like, how can you sink a submarine? Well, Ukraine did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, now it's not a submarine; it's a reef. To me,
Call it
Of-
fish food.
of all the things that happened this week that Ukraine did, this to me is the most surprising. I know that they've already done these remote controlled submarine things before, but for me as a network and systems engineer, underwater signaling is a bit outside my wheelhouse, and so to me it's very surprising because first of all, inside that harbor, if you've looked at aerial pictures of it, it has to go the drone, submersible drone, had to go through multiple layers and levels of defense. So physical barriers of all kinds, patrols, electronic warfare, signal disruption, all sorts of things. As cool and as big of a step as hitting a tanker in the Mediterranean is, I've been waiting for that to happen for a long time. And to me, it's a fairly simple thing to do based on the technology that they already have. But this strike, to me, was really remarkable. And I'm kind of scratching my head going like, man, how did they do that? And I'm sure the orcs are really scratching their heads too. It really put them all on notice. And these caliber missiles that these submarines and other missiles that these submarines can carry are have been a very real threat, especially to like Odessa and other targets. They are highly accurate. And Russia still likes to use them to commit war crimes and kill civilians.
Yeah.
It's really a major accomplishment because those submarines, it's going to be a long time, if ever, that they can threaten Ukraine again, I think.
Yeah.
This
Really
is really good news indeed. I just want to say two things. Of course, Russia is going to deny that this happened. So we had to go to satellite images for this. And another thing that Russia did shortly after, they sank three of their own barges at the mouth opening of this harbor where this submarine is stationed or was stationed. So they factually enclosed themselves in that thing. So Russians are simultaneously claiming two things: that this didn't happen, and then they sank three barges as a desperate measure to kind of stop Ukraine from doing this again, basically.
Yep.
So
what a panic move. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. But they cannot get out now. Russians cannot get out. Of course, Ukrainians are going to have harder time getting in. But they enclose themselves in the harbor. Which is great. If Ukraine can push them to do that, that's all I want to see.
Yeah.
Well, while all of this is happening, Putin had his year-end address.
Did you say urine address or year-end address? Because it works either way. I'm not sure.
A year-end address. And so he claimed that Russian advances are everywhere, seizing initiative towards like key captures like Krasny, Liman, and Prokrovsk. But the full story reveals slow movement, costly progress, with over 790,000 estimated casualties this year alone. And and Ukrainian counters reclaiming areas like Kupiansk that happened recently when Zelensky showed up, when Putin sent journalists from all over the world and Zelensky showed up. And all the military targets that Ukraine is hitting, it's just incredible. So I think it's funny because Putin he made a 4-hour speech. 4 hours he was
How
answering
Trump of
questions.
him, you know?
Yeah. And he insisted on resolving the root causes via Donbass control, demilitarization, and NATO excursion, rejecting any compromises, debunked by Russia's unprovoked invasion, violating the Budapest Memorandum, with U.S. intel confirming aims to conquer all Ukraine unchanged since 2022. So nothing has changed. And just one thing that really made my blood boil from his speech was Putin asserted Russia isn't responsible for Ukrainian deaths caused. Because it wasn't Russia that attacked first. That was his excuse. Blaming NATO and Ukraine, obviously, for provoking a defensive response.
Oh, that's very defensive. Oh, yes.
Yeah. And I mean, we have Russian war crimes very well documented. Bucha, what happened in Bucha and Mariupol.
Yep.
So, I mean, Putin has officially gone completely cuckoo.
It's such the classic psychology of an abuser, right? To say,
good one, yeah.
That's really what it is, and it's you're the one who makes me hit you because you make me so angry. I've had abusive people in my life who've told me just exactly that. It's your fault that I'm violent.
Wow.
And it's like, yeah, really. And it's like, no, that's a choice that you make. And so I think it's really important to understand that this is the culture and the society that Ukrainians are trying to break themselves free from.
Absolutely.
Is this cultural generational cycle of abuse that stretches back generations, 1,000 years. And it's been handed down until it's culturally the norm within Russian society. And that's the real fight. That's the real root cause. Okay.
It permeates more than religion itself because everybody feels this way in this regard.
Right. Everybody in the society, I mean, let's say 90%, and you just, I will say though, Slavi, you mentioned about his 4-hour speech and being like Trump. And no, I do think I was thinking about that 4-hour speech, and I realized, it is a little bit like Trump. I think they both must wear a catheter. That's
good point.
The only way that you could get through 4 hours without having to get up to pee. Come on.
Yeah, I think Trump had his surgically implanted in the cankle. That's probably what's going on there.
I imagine Trump in like male Pampers, the adult Pampers.
Yeah, depends.
So it soaks up, it swells up,
Please don't talk about cankles or ankles right now. I think I mentioned last time I have a sprained ankle.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. It's getting better, but they put me, I took it off now, but most of the day I have to wear this right now.
Oh,
it's actually really helping though.
Is it?
Thank
That's
God
good.
They gave this to me, but yeah.
That's cool. We should let me jump in quick here, guys. A couple of big shout outs to do here. So if I flip over to the one screen here, we got Crazy Cat 1000. Now, originally he was just Crazy Cat, but when the 2000 came out, they had to retroactively name him the 1000. Old computer joke, if you get it. But that was gifting out a Shills membership. Big shout there. Thank you, Crazy Cat. And then I flip over to the other screen here, and White Fishy One comes in with a $50 Ko-fi donation, thinking of all the soldiers on the front in Ukraine fighting for our freedom this Christmas. Slava Ukraine. And just before Whitefishy, Robert Jonazer? I'm not really sure there. Jonasar. $50 direct donation in through Ko-fi as well. Filling the coffers for James and the crew. Love it, people. Love it very much. Thank you so much indeed. Awesome.
I also have a shout out to Crazy Cats for sending out a membership. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
And to our moderator here on the channel, SSW Custom Sewing, for sending out another membership to one lucky member. So thank you so much, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. The support is always so much appreciated.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Somebody in the chat mentioned that this looks like RoboCop's calf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I told him not just RoboCop's calves, the whole cow, actually.
So this news about Putin's speech, by the way, I'm so glad that James said that thing. It's like such a beautiful insight, and so that's we need to talk like that and talk about this, because Russia will never give you the luxury of thinking that you are fighting a just war. They always attack you like it's your fault. But what happened this week, which is different, Putin said the quiet part out loud, and maybe that's a sign that he's really sleeping, because he did admit that this is a land grab. And this is very good as a Ukrainian. That's very good to hear, because we've been saying this from day one.
Yeah.
Russia is just grabbing land. Putin needs this to go on. He needs to win the war, or this is going to cost him his life. We keep saying that, but he admitted that this week. He said that the war will continue until Russia will liberate their historical lands. And they've never said that before. This is a first. And I don't know, is that because he's like really losing it mentally? He seems to be pretty sharp, or maybe he's so assured in the guarantees from Trump. Maybe Trump assured him 100% that, you know, they will make sure that Ukraine will surrender. So that's why he doesn't even care what he says.
I see that.
For Trump to promise that, he has to truly believe that Russia is winning. But because of all these strikes, strategic strikes, Trump doesn't want to do any business with a loser country. Let me tell you, Russia is a loser country. It's losing bad. Now, the information that Trump gets by the people around him is, you know, kind of perhaps the same situation as with Putin, because who knows what kind of information Putin is getting when it comes to the front lines and what's happening. But one thing that we know, Trump doesn't like to do business with losers. And Russia's GDP is like smaller than Italy's. It's cracking. Russia is cracking, and it's more like crumbling.
Yeah, crumbling. Yeah.
I don't see America like truly, like in theory, maybe Trump is saying that, but in theory, getting anything done with Russia, any deals right now is I don't know. I think it's a bit unlikely. Maybe hopeful, wishful thinking, but it's just on paper, it's doesn't look good for Russia.
I got a perfect thing here. We could just slip in quick. Before the stream, Slavi got access to a special new portrait of Donald Trump that the White House will be releasing. Would you guys like to see an early version? That's the real man right there. I love that pic.
Trump redacted.
Oh, that's funny. I think I'm going to have to put that as my picture in video right now. So where are we going next?
Oh, no. Well, yeah, I was just like to say, you know, this whole thing that people get where they say, you know, oh, Ukraine can't win. Russia, it's inevitable. Russia will win. Russia's winning. I mean, there are still even Ukrainians who believe this. Usually, older people who don't actually speak Ukrainian only have access to very limited Russian media, but also like in the United States, people who have access to maybe like just Fox News, something like that, and also limited knowledge of the countries involved and geography, and they just simply look at a map. By the way, usually a Mercator projection, which is where you take the globe and expand it onto a rectangular map, right? Which completely distorts the northern hemisphere of the map, right? So that Greenland, looks like this huge, massive thing when it's actually like about 1/10 of the size. And the same thing with Russia. So people look at that map and they think that Russia is much larger than it is. And they also think in their mind, they don't realize that 90% of Russia is almost completely unpopulated. Okay. Siberia, and when I say Russia, I mean the Russian Federation.
Yeah.
And so if you look at a population distribution map of Russia, you see that there are basically just 2 population centers and the rest of it is completely unpopulated. So it's more like if Alaska attacked, for example, Washington. that would be more accurate in terms of, yes, okay, right. So Alaska is much larger, okay, but they're way more spread out, except for like 2 population centers, right? And Ukraine is, I travel across this country all the time, a few times a month for various reasons, and there's every like 5 miles, 10 miles, there's another town and another town and another town. The density of population here. This is why one reason why Russia has proceeded, like you guys were talking last week, slower than a snail. Okay,
Yeah.
because you get a couple miles down the road and you got another town that you have to fight yourself through. And so just this lack of knowledge of geography, lack of and ignorance about these things. And also on those news channels like Fox News, they're not updating. They're not giving these updates. People are not getting updates about what's actually happening in the war. Their concept of what Russia is based on what they knew about the Soviet Union. And that's it.
Right.
Really. And we all grew up thinking the Soviet Union was this big, scary, evil monster who was going to come and eat us in our bed. And so that's,
And also, they are not they, but Russia is misrepresenting the condition for victory for Ukraine. They're saying that in order for Ukraine to win, Ukraine has to destroy the whole of Russian army, attack Moscow, do all those things, which would actually be impossible when you look at the condition on the battlefield.
Right.
But when we look to history books, when we read about warfare, every war that is going the way Ukraine is going with Russia right now would end basically in Ukrainian victory. When we go to all of the wars of attrition, all of the wars that happened in the past, when we read Chinese texts on warfare, the only scenario is for Ukraine to win. The only thing is that the victory conditions are different than what Russia is trying to present, than what, like Joe Rogan, all of these bloggers that are saying Russia is going to win and Ukraine cannot win. You've probably seen Joe Rogan's defeat Russia. Have you seen how big that place is?
Right.
Right. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In some cases, its size is actually a huge disadvantage.
Sure.
Exactly.
Because it takes a long time to move everything. But yeah, go ahead, John.
Exactly. Ukraine is using it to its advantage right now. It's absolutely Russian disadvantage. And the conditions for a Ukrainian victory right now, there are 2 that I can think on the top of my head. The first one, if we look to World War I, where basically it was just a static battlefield where, people were trying to just kind of the war of attrition and kind of kill each other and see what the progress, the scientific progress would take them, where they could switch something. And basically Germany would just get economically strained and they could not continue the war and they lost. And another thing, the war in Afghanistan, where Russia with Ukraine at that time, so it was a much larger entity, against Afghanistan that did not have the support of the world like Ukraine does right now, even though they did have the support, but just not as much. And they were completely conquered. Soviet Union did a genocide successfully on the Afghanistan at that time. And the condition, the victory condition that Afghanistan has met, they waited out till the regime change in Soviet Union. And basically that's another victory condition that Ukraine is looking forward to. As soon as Putin is dead, if Ukraine can hold out for that condition, it's definitely going to be the end of the war. So there are a few different ways how this can end. And historically, there is no way that Russia can win this war right now. And basically, Trump is the only one who can help Russia win by making Ukraine surrender. But that's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
I'd like to shout out a quick super chat to they exist, saying rumor has it mass graves occupy 90% of Russia. Probably.
It's just the ones that Ukrainian dogs didn't eat.
90% of the occupied territory. Man, there's going to be a lot of archaeology going on there for many, many decades.
Yeah.
That's actually my plan after the war. If you want to know, like my super secret plan. Have you guys ever seen the British BBC TV series Time Team?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Famous. Everybody loves it on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, Slavi, Johnny, you got to check it out. So basically, it's a like a reality TV show about archaeology. It's been around since like 1995, and there's like 3 or 4 archaeologists and then one host. Okay, and basically the way it works is like Babushka is digging up her garden and she finds some like shard of pottery and she says, "Oh, I wonder if this is ancient Roman," and she calls the Time Team. Right. And the Time Team are like this group of archaeologists only have the weekends to work because they have real jobs. So they only have 3 days. OK, that's the big deal. They only have 3 days and they come out and they dig up, grandma's potato garden. But they make a whole show about it. And sometimes they find like a huge, ancient Celtic ceremonial thing or a Roman temple and sometimes they find nothing, but grandma gets her potatoes dug. That's the most important thing. So this is what I want to do. And I'm literally talking with archaeologists, both here in Ukraine and even in the US, like Flint Dibble, for example, who has done lots of archaeology in Ukraine, about doing a YouTube show. It'll be like Time Team, but like with mines, of course. Maybe we'll call it like like Mine Team. So it'll be like combination archaeology and mine clearing, And
so, in other words, every week the cast will change a bit because you never know who's going to get through the episode.
It adds to the excitement, man. We're not just digging up stuff wearing our archaeologists had Indiana Jones hats. We're wearing like full on, EOD gear.
Well, you'd have to have one of those camera rigs like they use to watch the Saturn V go up, because if somebody screws up, you want to get footage of them in the air, right? Or at least the parts of them that go in the air.
Right. Yeah. So this is going to be the thing, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be a hit. Really.
That danger element can certainly add to the excitement because
dude.
people like
Oh,
to
dude,
see
it's going
that.
to be a worldwide success. I'm telling you. We just got to we just got to get like these ground drones to do the actual like mine clearing for us, and then we'll be okay, maybe.
Well, we do have a question coming in, and that's a perfect question because it leads into my next story. And it's the question asks Kinky Streets is asking, does Ukraine have access to Russian money in EU banks yet? The Shills, from what I read, heard no access yet. And you're correct. But so EU approved 90 billion loan to Ukraine, but it did sidestep the frozen Russian assets.
Yeah.
So the package uses EU guarantees for market loans, with Ukraine repaying post reparations. So Ukraine will have to repay this loan only if Russia pays reparations to Ukraine along the line.
Mm.
They decided not to access the 210 billion in Russian assets because, well, Russia threatened Belgium's president pretty hard, and Belgium didn't want to take all the responsibility, and so they decided to opt out of that. But instead, they provided this 90 billion. This 90 billion that Europe is paying, it is coming from taxpayer money. But I mean,
Yeah.
Europe made up for it, but it's the fact that they're listening to Russian threats that's kind of like, come
Yeah.
on.
I think that's the best case scenario right now. That's what Europe had to do. But the result is Ukraine has this money. And for people to put this into perspective, the 90 billion, that's going to sustain Ukraine for 2 years worry-free. We have 2 years, 2027, 2028, already paid for, right? For Russia, it's devastating news.
Yeah.
Is Russia going to be able to sustain itself till 2028? Let's hope China has something to say. But I mean, that's the war right now. It's the war of economies.
So this is, this is a big thing. Sorry, Dick, just to mention that planning, the ability to plan 2 years into the future is a luxury that Ukraine has not had this entire war. If it's like, even under Biden, it's like, 3 months, 6 months, maybe, and then the rug gets pulled out. Like, Ukrainians never know what's going to happen month to month. So how do you plan? How do you conserve your ammunition? Do you conserve your HIMARS, or do you throw it all in? What are you going to do? This is so game changing because it allows Ukrainians, really for the first time, to be able to make real plans in this war, long-term strategies. It's a total game changer. And Johnny, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
So this is what Russia threatened EU with. Moscow sued Euroclear, vowing to seize equivalent Western assets in Russia, like factories and bonds, disrupt European energy via shadow fleet or cyber attacks, and also weaponize migration sabotage, which they've already been doing this to Europe. With them pushing the migration. And Putin labeled it as theft in his speech, warning of this economic backlash. Now, this money has been frozen by the EU indefinitely, so they don't need to renew this the freeze every 6 months. But I mean, Europe is also making money off of it and interest while it's laying in there. So but this money is very important to Russia and now to Trump, because Trump wants a piece of it, huge piece of it, actually. And I mean, I think Europe should really figure out what to do with it, and God forbid it gets back into Russia's hands. Because all what Russia cares about is money, essentially. They
Yeah.
don't care about lives, but they
Nope.
do care about their money.
They don't even care about their own lives, like their own people's, right?
And right now, Russia is losing money. They just did their budget for 2026, and they don't have enough. They're about 40 billion rubles underwater, and that's very optimistic thing. Another thing, they stopped doing this major, this big signing up bonuses for the people who sign up to army. They used to have them into 4 million rubles, 3-4 million rubles. They drastically reduced that number. The biggest one you can see right now, it's 800,000 rubles, which is $8,000. So for your life.
Yeah.
And that's because they don't have money. Russia doesn't have money. It's working. What Ukraine is doing, it's working. And of course, Russia would like to see that money unfreeze, and they have to start paying, because everybody who is providing something to Russia right now, which is China, which is Iran, North Korea, they still want to get some kind of payments back, because Russia is not just doing it. They're not doing it for Russia out of charity.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to say that, first of all, this $90 billion loan, right, that Europe has essentially taken out. This whole thing is based on trust, right? Euroclear is based on trust, and they're worried about breaking that trust that they have to hold on to these funds. That's the whole point. So Euroclear is a clearinghouse, a holding company for funds that are being transferred between countries, between nations, between large organizations and nations, that sort of thing. And their fear is, and this is Belgium's fear, because this is a significant amount of their country's source of income, is if they breach that trust, then no one is going to want to, continue to trust Euroclear and put their money in the Belgian economy for safekeeping. But Europe has to, and Belgium in particular, but Europeans in general, have to come to terms. European law has to be changed, okay? Because this is an exceptional circumstance, right?
Indeed.
I mean, there has to, every contract has a force majeure clause, okay? At what point do you say, this is an exceptional case, and under the case that you have committed war crimes and you are the aggressor in a major land war of conquest and continue to commit war crimes, all contracts must be null and void. Russia's already doing that with Western assets, and they're making these threats. We're going to confiscate this and that. They've been doing that since day one of the war. So what difference does it make? You know what I mean? They've been breaching the trust this whole time. So why does
anyone else give a rat's ass?
Exactly. Europe should also uphold its end of the bargain and say, okay, if you're going to confiscate, if you're going to do this stuff, we have the right to do it too. And Europeans just aren't doing that. But the flip side of that is, look at the trust in Ukraine that was revealed by this $90 billion loan. I don't know what entities forked up that money, but there's clearly a huge amount of faith and not hope, but trust that Ukraine will win. And that when we win, we will win so completely that Russia will be forced to pay back that amount, that $90 billion, and reparations to Ukraine. So that bill of $90 billion is being tacked onto Russia. That's how completely those loan backers believe that Ukraine is going to win, and we will.
James, this is a huge risk actually for EU because they might not see this money back. I think the money only comes if Russia pays reparations. If it doesn't, then the money's gone.
Yep.
And it's
Yep.
Ukraine
And
that
that's
will
why
have to pay back.
That's why
the
it's such a
EU.
good thing, though. That's why it's such a good thing, though, because now Europe has skin in the game. If they ever want to see that money again, they have to help Ukraine in a serious way.
And James,
And it's
historically, everything is different when somebody has skin in the game. Always.
Well, as I say, if when it starts to cost something, that's when you start doing things.
Yeah.
And
I got a couple of shout outs I'd like to jump in with here. So Niles Knudsen in the chat, his membership renewed there, and it's 26 months of membership. So if my camera was working, I'd be doing my heart thing and there'd be hearts flying out right now. Just imagine you're seeing them. And then Niles Knudsen again comes in, gifting out 10 Shills memberships. Bounce, little Mario, bounce. And then I flip over, so big shouts there to Niles. Thank you very much for such long continued support and helping others as well. And then Stephen Walsh, who doesn't do anything small, comes in with $130 direct donation through PayPal for James and the boys. Merry Christmas, Slava Ukraine. Stephen Walsh, always a big hitter. Love it, buddy. Thank you, Steve. Huge one.
I have a couple of shout outs as well. Thank you, SSW Customs, coming in with a super chat saying, support Ukraine. Also, West Coast is the best coast. Agree. They exist. Comes in with another super chat saying, orc fillings are big source of fresh lead.
Cool.
And also, another huge super chat, $20 from Bert Gummer, 6969, saying, Slava Ukraine, much work to rebuild and repair Ukraine. Merry Christmas to you all. Thank you so much, and Merry Christmas to you as well. And have one more.
Awesome.
From They Exist, asking, will EU oligarchs allow new laws to defeat mafia?
Ooh.
I don't think I understand the EU oligarchs.
Well, we all have our
run
oligarchs.
like a mafia state. The Trump family basically is like a mafia family.
That's what he means when he says mafia. That's Russia, but I don't know with the EU oligarchs. Well, let us know. They exist. Put it in the chat.
Well, no, I mean, I understand that, the thing about it is that, like, we are fighting. It's not just about Ukraine versus Russia. It's about a new world order that the oligarchs around the world are trying to implement, and it's a fallback to a neo-feudalist.
sorry.
A neo-feudalist future where there's like the classic feudal pyramid where there's Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos at the top, and the rest of us down here at the bottom. And whoever else in between, and that's the world that Putin and all these other oligarchs are actively trying to recreate. Whatever geopolitical struggles they might have against each other, okay, their larger goals are all the same. I would argue.
I would agree. We've got another direct donation through Ko-fi there from Kenvet, UTV and Ham there in the chat. Slava Ukraine, $10 direct donation into the pot. Love it, Kenvet. Thank you, buddy. Awesome. What time is it? Okay.
I was just going to ask you.
Yeah, I'm thinking 15 minutes is probably the max I've got here. I did get the message in that I am the one taking him over to that thing today. So it's a bit of a short show. Yeah, sorry, everybody. But you won't be as sorry as me because I've got in-laws to surround me for a little while coming up. Ex-in-laws. So yay.
Okay.
The size of the show, it's how potent and how you use it.
Okay, so I just got a question in the chat from Remy Falher, and it took me a minute. I had to read it like 3 times to understand. The question is, could Ukrainian drones deploy nets by getting in front of Russian drones and then deploying them from the rear? Like basically pooping a net out the back, you know, like an octopus trying to get away.
Or like Spider-Man, like with the...
Yeah, but Spider-Man is shooting forward out of his hands. This would be like if he shot out the butt, you know, like a net butt. No, I'm not making fun of you though, Remy. It's fun to think of it that way.
It is
actually. So now, right. So understand that usually nets, when they are deployed, they're dropped from the bottom. Okay. And the reason they're not often shot from the back, first of all, if you get in front of a Russian drone, the camera is in the front. So that means the Russian drone is looking at you and you're in front of him and he's immediately going to say, uh-oh, and he's going to take evasive measures. Okay. Right. That's thing number one. So you got to sneak up on them from behind or above. Even if you're above, you know, depending on their camera angle, they might see your shadow or something, and they will immediately begin taking evasive maneuvers. The second thing is like when a net is dropped, think about like a parachute. When you drop a parachute, sometimes the parachute, when it opens up, the parachute actually goes up.
Yeah.
Right. And so that can happen with a net where it actually causes the drone above it, the drone that deployed it, to be the rotors to be fouled and it falls from the sky. So most net deployment systems use like a kind of a shotgun method that shoots the net out.
I wouldn't. Is it something similar to like the firing of an airbag? I bet that would do it, right? You know, just a little pop shot, right?
Yeah, it's not much, but it's enough to you know, and
clearance.
You know, the law of inertia means the drone goes up one way and the net goes down, and that's enough to get that clearance. But then you're shooting a net at a faster speed. The net has to spread out, and what if the drone in question, your target drone, moves at that exact moment? You just hope your net is big enough to catch it. So So that's a thing. There are other methods that we use to attack, to intercept drones. But I can't go into that.
Yeah.
We'll read about it in the news.
Yes, I hope so.
Yes.
About your successes.
Yeah. Was there any questions or anything we should do, Slavi?
Oh, we actually have just the one question today.
Interesting. You're not so nosy today, people. All right, then.
What good job are we doing that we're answering it before the questions even appear?
Yeah, that we have got to the point where we are now minority reporting your questions. We know what they're going to be before even you do.
I can sense your question.
Funny. So yeah, it looks like we got 10 minutes from now. So your decision there, Slavi. Where do we go? What do we do? What are we up to?
Well, I know Johnny has a piece of news that he really wanted to do.
Yeah, I would be delighted if we could quickly dive into that. This is from this week. It just happened. There was something like a Russian clerical landing party. It's a new thing that Russians are doing. They sent 5 groups of Russian kind of church people. They dressed in all church attire. And they're accosting members of Congress in the hallways of Congress, United States Congress. And basically, how we found out about this, there was a group of Ukrainians doing their work in Congress that day, and they saw them. If they see you have Ukrainian insignia, they just run away, they scurry away, and you cannot talk to them. So these Ukrainians, they took all of their Ukrainian things and they approached them. They say, we're Americans. Can you tell us what you're doing? And they were very happy to spread the Russian misinformation.
Wow.
Basically, what they're doing is the purpose of their presence is to convince American lawmakers that Ukraine is allegedly persecuting Orthodox Christians and that American aid is being used to destroy churches and mistreat Christians. So they said that they're operating on the behalf of our organization ROKOR, which is Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia. Any church outside of Russia is a FSB wing. They work directly for Kremlin. Yeah. We've been saying that with Slavy from day one. So verbally, they portray themselves as Ukrainians, which is not true. And they're victims of these persecutions. The lies that they're saying, they're very stupid, and we get a chance to listen to that. If we get, can we?
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah. So we have a video.
Want me to just play it here now?
Yeah, let's play it. Let's play it.
Lucy, he was poisoned with heavy metals. They poisoned him. By Zelensky. Well, this new created government church, PCU, they came and they start to do their service. And if Mother Protect say don't do that, I wanna bury by Orthodox tradition, they beat her. They throw out body corpse of her.
Причому на одного з конгресменів вони навіть інформаційно напали, роздрукували великий плакат про те, що він веде війну проти релігії.
Lucy, who was speak to United Nations, he was poisoned with heavy metals, evacuated because government hired people and they poisoned him by Zelensky. So it's just very sad. It's like 1918 revolution was happening. Same happened now in Ukraine.
So do you guys see that? It's kind of hard to catch. Basically, what she's saying that there's a Metropolite Feodosy, which is a high Russian church figure, and he was poisoned by heavy metals. And he's asking by who? By Zelensky, right? Very stupid lie. Unfortunately, it works because, you know, the congressmen are majority of voters and lawmakers are Christian. So you have sympathetic hearts. And you see this and you want to believe these people. They seem sincere, right? Slavy, what did you think of those Russian accents? You know, pretending to be like Ukrainian. That's like the most.
You can tell the difference, but most Americans can't.
Yeah,
super
honestly.
Russian. Like Ukrainians don't sound like that when they
No, not at all. Ukrainians are a lot softer. Even when they speak Russian, their Russian is a lot softer. When it's like Moscow Russian, it's like
they're more bullish. They're more pushy.
Yeah.
They're like the accents they're making. Like when he's asking who poisoned the Metropolite, she's like Zelensky. So Zelensky is like going to Brussels on Monday, but on Sunday Zelensky is going and poisoning Metropolite with heavy metals. So these people have been deployed, and we have to do a little bit of a pushback over here in the information space, just to bring this to people's attention. This is what's happening in the Congress of the United States right now. To me, that's an attack by Russian intelligence. That's an attack on our institution. And we just have to highlight this, hopefully FBI can look into ROKOR for potential, Russian intelligence assets operating in the United States. That's how I look at this.
So I think
that's news.
Johnny, I think that you may have misunderstood. So he's poisoning them with heavy metals, but it's like AC/DC, Metallica, Sepultura. It's really.
He's poisoning them with a drop D bass chord.
Sorry, that's my
They were
air
also
guitar.
talking about how if like let's say a child of some mother died and she wanted to bury him in a Russian Orthodox tradition and she was beaten, like this lady, like imagine the story, right? This poor lady wants to bury her child in her Christian Russian Orthodox tradition. There's no such thing, I grew up with this, but
It
basically
literally looks to me, and I've been to these funerals, okay, and I've been to funerals where they have the Russian Orthodox and the Ukrainian in the same thing, and to me, other than the fact that one's speaking in, they're speaking Old Slavonic and singing this music and stuff, but I mean, it's like there's no difference to here in Ukraine visibly that I could see. It's kind of
absolutely no difference. But an average congressman may not know this. And did you see the printed material over there? They have something against Representative Wilson. They have a printout like shame on Congressman Wilson for supporting the persecution of Christians. So my guess, Wilson is somebody who is like an avid Ukrainian supporter. So they already have printed materials because they know they cannot sway him. Possibly he can see through their, I don't know how to say it nicely, he can see through their bullshit. And they know that he cannot be swayed. So they already started like these campaigns against the congressman that they know will not be swayed.
Yeah.
It's important to understand how profoundly, absolutely profoundly ignorant many American politicians and congressmen are for anything outside of the United States, or I mean, just in general. But just for anything that's happening, internationally, unless they are on one of those committees that deals with that type of stuff, and even then, if they're new to it, they probably know absolutely nothing about what's going on in the world outside of the United States. So to them, a lot of them come from areas where, they're never exposed to any other cultures. And so,
we've got like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm just checking the time here. Yeah. We don't have long. Yeah.
Well, give me a moment if you would. I'd like to talk about, if you wouldn't mind, Dick, if you could, we could go to the whyukraine.com website, and I just want to show people, if you can, obviously you can donate here on this channel, and that'll go to us. But where it says click here to support Azov International Battalion. So we recently had a little change, but you on the payment site, but you can go here and you go to Apple Pay, or however you want to donate. And every little bit helps there. This is the way that we are going to buy like the majority, the big purchases of like drones. We need hundreds and hundreds of drones, and we're just I hate to say it, but Azov, is a little bit like the redheaded stepchild of the Ukrainian army. We are not actually part of the army. We're part of the National Guard.
Yeah.
Which, so we're like beefed up police, essentially. I mean, that kind of comes partly from the tradition of independence and self-reliance that Azov has. But it also can work against us in some way. And so we get less support, I would argue. So if we go back to that, now for smaller purchases, for like day-to-day items that we need in the laboratory almost every day, that's what, if a little bit further down where it says help you why Ukraine purchase basic tools for a secret drone lab in Ukraine, that goes directly to my own fund that I use to go and buy stuff that we need. And we are setting up and building this fiber optic drone laboratory. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort. And I can't always keep an update of things that we need here. Sometimes I have to go and buy the thing, and then I purchase. I buy the thing and then I put it up on the website so that somebody can help to. But like these things, so I'm hoping the end of next week to get like 4 or 5 more engineers. You can see one of our desks, one of our workbenches there. But I'm gonna need like
1 sec there, James. We're losing you. Just give it 1 second here. Okay, I think you're back. You're good.
Yeah. So,
Maybe not. Sounds like somebody's trying to train RoboCop how to speak. Just give him 1 second to let it settle back in.
The RoboCop.
Yeah. Almost.
But we get the message, and this is very important. Like this thing is so important to just go to that website and donate. James showed us that screen where you can see there are different ways. The ones that's gonna work in United States, it's GPay. So if you have Google Pay, you can set it up. It's very easy. And because I have Google Pay, the other ones you cannot use in the United States, and that's a little bit of an issue. But GPay, that works beautifully. Can we hear you, James?
He's just coming back.
I can hear you.
Okay, you're in. You're back, buddy.
All right,
You're good.
You're back.
Yeah. Sorry about that. It happens sometimes. Honestly,
how dare you, James?
when we have it, it might be a sign that we have like an incoming drone attack. Usually there will be some disruption to the internet, and I mean, it's all day. I just don't even think about it. I'm glad, I got to sound like RoboCop a little bit. It matches my calf. So, yeah. So, but anyway, what I was going to say there is like all the tools and stuff that I have listed there. Those are things that, I'm getting new technicians in the, hopefully in a week and a half, and they're going to need a full setup of tools. And we just have a constant need for this, for the fiber optic, all that setup and stuff. And it's, so any help you can give there is much appreciated as well. And then for big purchases, we need that donation directly to the battalion.
Yeah.
So I just, I can't thank you guys enough for the help that you've given. Really
awesome. We should do our goodbyes, Slavi.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we do that, big shout out to Papa Dutch coming in with a super chat saying, hey, you know how it is. You go to a Kremlin party and someone is passing around the weaponized tea. Careful with that team. Thank you so much, Papa Dutch, for that.
Awesome.
Super chat.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah. Johnny, any final thoughts for today?
Quick ones.
Absolutely. No, great week. Putin has said what I wanted to hear all this time. This war is a brutal land grab and a genocide. And Ukraine is going to win.
Well said.
All right. Nice and quick. All right, James, any final thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, guys, any help that you can give. I'm actually going to be on a podcast on Twitter tomorrow. It's 10 a.m. my time. So if you can join me there, I will definitely appreciate that. And then it looks like I'm going to be on Monday. I'm going to be doing a live stream with Dylan Burns, and then one with Ukraine Matters. So
cool.
So look out for that, you guys, and I hope you can join me there.
Awesome. Yeah, send me the links and we'll get it through the Discord and everything for you.
Very cool.
Can we do a quick vote of which?
No. We have no time for this at all. No. Okay, Slavi, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, Ukraine is not fighting only for itself. It is fighting for the rules that keep this world from collapsing into brute force, for the idea that borders matter, that truth matters, that human life matters. And while many of us are at home this Christmas with warmth, with light, with our families, there are Ukrainians on the front lines, in the cold, in the dark, away from their loved ones, standing between us and a world ruled by fear and terror. To Ukrainian defenders, James, thank you. You're fighting for our future, you're fighting for peace, and you're not forgotten. If you can, this holiday season, please donate to Ukrainian causes, Ukrainian defenders. I know we have many problems here in the US, but Russia is a problem for all of us. And the way to stop it, even when our leadership failed us, is to support those who are actually holding the line. And before we go, a reminder, a brand new episode of SlavaCast is out now. It's called Russia Didn't Occupy Kiev, it occupied Washington. Are we at war? I sat down with Andrew Mercado and we go deeper than headlines, deeper than politics, into what this moment really means. The link is pinned in the top of the chat. Go watch it, share it, comment. And if you watch it again. And as always, to our moderator across every channel we're streaming on, you guys are rock stars. Thank you for holding the line in the chat, keeping this space strong, informed, and human. To our viewers, thank you for all your support, for your memberships, for your super chats, for showing up week after week and contributing to the conversation and using your social currency. Thank you. And you are the fuel that makes this possible. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, and share the streams on all the channels because truth only spreads when people choose to carry it. This was our Christmas episode of Ukraine Update. Stay fierce, guys. Be brave like Ukraine, and Merry Christmas. And Slava Ukraini.
Heroam Slava.
Rome Slava.
We'll leave you with one thought as I hit the button.
You suck!